Hello. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be doing another one of these talking to the camera videos because I really enjoyed the making of the last one. It was a fun time. Hopefully you guys liked it. Today's video is going to be super nerdy and pretty lame if you have, like a family or a job. So I'm going to be talking about my movie collection that I've started collecting movies over the past 2 years now. It's super fun. It's a grand old time. I like going to a local movie store and just look and see what they have. If you guys like this, I don't know, thanks. But if this isn't your cup of tea, please don't watch this because this will be very boring if you're not interested in this. I won't try to spend too much time talking about all these different movies because there's quite a few. I haven't seen all of these, and a lot of this is probably going to be very, wow, this is really good. I love this movie. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, I love this one. With all that useless garbage out of the way, let's start off. So we're going to start alphabetically, so we're going to start in alphabetical order, starting off with 12 Angry Men. This is the Criterion, of course. One of my favorite movies of all time. Next up, we have 4K of 1917. Roger Deakins, his one of his great works. You know, it's very flashy for Roger Deakins. You know, he's kind of always talking about how cinematography should be kind of more subtle and it shouldn't stand out, and then he made like a super flashy movie, but it's really good, very pretty, and I really like the acting. I really like the music, scored by, I believe, Thomas Newman. Next up, you had to get it. It was on sale. What can I say? The 4K of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now I'm a real movie fella because I have this one. The only thing I can say about 2001: A Space Odyssey is I watched it with my family, and me and my mom argued about it afterwards. That's all I'll say. We got the Criterion of Anatomy of a Murder. I talked about this in my other movie video where I talked about my favorite movies of 2024. A superb film. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't really... I've only seen it once, but it really stuck with me, and I'm glad to own it. We have the Italian film Bicycle Thieves. I watched this, and it's really just it's the film where no one can catch a break. You know, life just kind of sucks for everybody in this movie, and it's really good. I liked it. We got a weird movie. Probably the weirdest movie I own is Bunny Lake is Missing. I also talked about this a little bit in the last video, but this is just a strange movie. It's shot so well. It's very beautiful, but it's just so weird. I don't really want to spoil it for you. I think you should watch it. This is a limited edition Blu-ray, I believe, as there weren't that many made or something like that. I don't remember, but I got it on eBay, brand new, and I'm very glad to own it, even though I'll probably never watch it again. Next up, we have Casablanca. Beautiful movie. Just an all-time classic. Watched it with my grandma last year and loved it. It was really good. We got the Blu-ray of one of my... when I was getting into theater and acting, it was one of my favorite movies. This is Tom Hanks' Castaway. And this movie really stuck with me for Hanks' performance is obviously incredible. The score, which I also think is Thomas Newman, I'm pretty sure. We got one of my favorite Christmas movies. I just bought this past Christmas because it was at Walmart. I like the case. This is the DVD of A Christmas Story. And I know it's kind of a funny pick for one of my favorite Christmas movies, but it just balances kind of the sadness of life, and it masks with some comedy, and it's got some really beautiful scenes in there. I'm making it sound a lot more sophisticated than it is. It's just a silly, dumb movie. I had this on DVD, and because I'm just a little... I don't even know what to call myself, I had to get the 4K version. This is the Criterion of Citizen Kane. This movie it's all right. We have the only Charlie Chaplin movie I've seen. This is City Lights, Criterion, of course. And this movie is beautiful, and it almost made me cry, and there's no talking in it. And it was the first silent movie I've seen, and the first Charlie Chaplin movie I've seen, and I want to watch a lot more of his work. I believe I already talked about it in the last video. We have this little movie I bought on my birthday last year. Went to a little movie store, and they had The Dark Knight on Blu-ray, and I don't have any of the other Nolan Batman movies, or any other Batman movie for that matter, but this is obviously mid. We have Terrence Malick's Days of Heaven. This is the 4K Criterion. This movie is very pretty, obviously. It's been praised for its cinematography and lighting, shooting in a magic hour, golden hour, and the cinematographer, he was going blind. This is what I've heard. I haven't done like actual research. I've just seen like YouTube shorts or something. As the cinematographer was going blind, and he took pictures of the shots with Polaroid cameras, and then would look with a high-powered magnifying glass to see if the composition and the lighting is what he wanted. Crazy stuff, and it paid off. Beautifully shot movie. The story, I think, is pretty good. It's kind of it's not super structured. It's kind of loose, flowing movie. This was a gift from my friend Isaac over at the old Agent Neely channel, who's popped off a little bit. In my last video, he had 19 subs. Now he has 140. The Escape from Tuscola video that I talked about in the last video got 10,000 views, and that's sick. So the Tarkov community welcomed him with open arms, and for my birthday last year, he got me a few movies. You'll see them here and there. One of those is Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, which is a pretty crazy movie. We have the only Kurosawa movie I have seen, but not the only one I own. This is Dreams. I talked about this a little bit in the last video as well, but this movie is so beautiful and so unlike anything else I've seen. It makes me excited to watch the rest of his works, because I don't think this is even the best of him. One of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies, this is Duel, Blu-ray. I have Duel. This is a great movie. I actually want to make a video essay on it. I've never done anything like that, but I would really like to talk about this movie more in depth. I think it's one of Spielberg's best, and I just love the feel. It's got so much charm. It's great. I love it a lot. With Elia Kazan's East of Eden, I have all three of James Dean's big films, and this is probably my favorite of the three. It's just very emotional, and his performance fits really well. The birthday party scene in this movie is alone worth the price of admission to go watch this. Movie I just watched a few days ago in honor of the great David Lynch, Elephant Man. This is the only David Lynch movie I have seen so far, and this is a beautiful movie. This is incredible. Made me cry several times. Just absolutely phenomenal, as David Lynch would say.
It's phenomenal.
Man, I already said one of my favorite Spielberg movies earlier, but this is also another one of my favorites. This is The Fabelmans, and this is kind of the story of his Steven Spielberg's life, but changed up a little bit for the screen, but pretty close in some ways. Beautiful movie. If you are interested in filmmaking or just a lover of movies, I recommend this. It's a grand old time. We have the first movie, I believe, in this list that I have not seen yet. Another gift from Isaac on my birthday. This is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So, yeah. George Stevens, Giant, on 4K. This is another one of James Dean's movies. One of my favorite performances he did. Very different from East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause. Very long movie and not the most exciting, but I like the themes that it tackles.
We got The Godfather on Blu-ray coming to my house.
Kurosawa movie that I am very excited to see. I cannot wait to watch it. It'll probably be one of the next movies I watch. This is High and Low. I've heard it is so good, and I cannot wait to watch it. We have Paul Newman's The Hustler on Blu-ray. This is an incredible movie. Just kind of sleeper pick. I was like, saw it, and a lot of times the classic at the movie store that I go to, a lot of classic movies are only on DVD, so I saw this on Blu-ray, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, and it turned out to be just an incredible movie. So I love the cinematography. The CinemaScope in black and white is really cool. some good images, and Paul Newman, really good. We have one of the movies that, was, when I saw it, it was a pivotal movie, and that's Inception. When I saw this, I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like 16 years old, and I still stand by that. I think it is an awesome movie. It's a fun action movie. I'm not a big action movie guy, but this is one of my favorites. I was discouraged when I watched it afterwards, because I was like, I'll never be able to make a movie like this. Like, I can't do stuff like that. It was funny. We have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is a lot of people's favorite Indiana Jones film. This is not my favorite, but I do love Sean Connery's performance in this. Very lighthearted. It's like Indiana Jones as a Saturday morning cartoon kind of vibe, you know what I mean? So I probably stole that from, I'm sure someone else has said that. Scorsese film that I have not watched yet. This is The Irishman. I am so hyped to see this. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Martin Scorsese, and I am excited to see The Irishman. Hopefully it's good. Another film I have not seen yet from another one of my favorite directors. This is It Happened One Night, directed by Frank Capra, which, if you don't know, he did It's a Wonderful Life, which is my favorite movie. Speaking of which, boom, 4K, It's a Wonderful Life. One of the best movies of all time, not even up for debate. I'm sorry. I keep looking at the screen. Hopefully it's not too annoying. A Gift from Isaac on my birthday. Jackie Brown. I have no clue if it's good. I haven't seen it. My number one or number two movie, depending on the day, so It's a Wonderful Life is probably my number one, but if it's not, then it has to be Scorsese's The King of Comedy. This is I watched this 2 years ago. This was, I think, actually the first movie I bought to start off my collection. I watched this movie, and it just clicked with me so well. This is my kind of movie. If you know me, this is my kind of movie. This is the most recent movie I bought. I bought this the other day on Amazon, and it's here. I'm excited to see it. This is Orson Welles' Lady from Shanghai. I heard a song from this, and it made me want to watch the movie. I've been wanting to watch more of Orson Welles' work, so watch this. I want to get the Magnificent Ambersons and The Trial and Othello. Those are the next ones I want to see of his. We have Otto Preminger's, I don't know if it's underrated. I don't know how much people talk about it. This is Laura, and I really liked Laura. I do think it could have been pushed a little more. Vertigo is one of my favorite movies, and this had big Vertigo vibes, but it's a little more conventional, if I do say so myself. We have the movie I'm terrified to watch. I've owned this movie for I think almost 2 years, or over a year, and I have not watched it. This is Lawrence of Arabia, and I know I've heard people say it's one of the best movies of all time. I know I've heard it all. But I bought this at the movie store because I thought it was an interesting case, and then I opened it. It has 2 discs just to watch the whole movie. I'm not really scared of long movies. I like long movies, but I don't know, just the thought of switching discs, I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. We have one of the most touching movies I've seen, Life is Beautiful. This is the fantastic movie. I love this so much. I've only seen it once, and I don't know the next time I'll watch it because it is a very heavy hitter. My dad and my mom had watched it, and they're like, "Oh, you need to see it. You need to see it." And I was like, "I don't know. Like, it's very heavy subject matter, a Holocaust movie," and I was just like, you got to be in the mood to see sad movies, and talked me into it, and it's beautiful, as the title suggests. Second Frank Capra movie I'd seen. This is Meet John Doe on DVD, which I believe this one is just like scanned from a VHS copy. There's like a lot of VHS artifacting, so I might get a nicer Blu-ray in the future, but it's a pretty good movie, actually. I think it's kind of an underrated Frank Capra film. We have one of my favorite, if not my favorite, thriller of all time. In 4K, we have Misery, Rob Reiner's Misery. The performances just carry this movie. James Caan and Kathy Bates are just incredible in this film, and I like it being, it takes place mostly in just one room and one place, which is always fun to see. on a technical side to see stories told with limitations like that, and it executes this perfectly. Actually, side note, the first time I'd ever seen Misery was not the movie. Our community theater did a play of Misery, which I thought was so fascinating, and so I just been in the play right before it, so I went to go see it, and it was done so well. The set was incredible. The introduction, the director's introduction, was they had a big analog TV in the middle of the set. It was the house. The house was the set, and the TV turned on, and the director's introduction was on the TV. And I tell that to everybody when I'm talking about Misery, is that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen for an introduction of a play, or just it's so creative, and it was a very good show. Another Frank Capra movie. I got this for Christmas this year, and I have not seen it yet. This is Mr. Deed Goes to Town, or Mr. Deeds, I should say. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Oh man, I'm trying to stack all these in one, and now it's just leaning. I'm not going to stack those anymore. Another Frank Capra movie I have not seen yet. This is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. We have another iconic piece of cinema. This is The Muppet Christmas Carol. I just got this past Christmas when I bought Christmas Story. And see how many times I can say Christmas in a sentence. I love this movie, and I love Michael Caine's performance. If we're going to talk about that, we got to bring up the original Muppet movie from 1979. This is one of my childhood classics. I grew up loving all the Muppet movies. I think my favorite was Muppet Take Manhattan, but this has just stood the test of time, and I love this movie. It's so heartfelt, and it's beautiful. One of the greatest comedies to grace the silver screen. This is Napoleon Dynamite. Beautiful. We have, I believe, the first Coen Brothers movie I've talked about. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I love the Coen Brothers, and I love this movie. I have not seen it in a while, but it made me laugh really hard. It wasn't the first Coen Brothers movie I had seen, but I went in with high expectations. I was not disappointed. Next up, we have one of my favorite films of all time, top 5 for sure, and the beautiful Criterion release. This is Marlon Brando and On the Waterfront. I love this movie. I love this case. It's beautiful, and this is just one of those movies you see and it just impacts you. We have a movie I talked about in my last video as my number 1 spot of last year, Criterion, the Stanley Kubrick's Paths of Glory. Beautiful movie. I actually have not watched it on the Criterion yet. I saw it on, I believe, Tubi. We have a kind of a sleeper pick. I doubt a single soul watching this has heard of this film. This is Rod Serling wrote the script. This is Patterns, a TV film, and it's so depressing. It's just a movie about the corporate workspace and how they don't really care about you, and it's just done very well in a very Rod Serling way, but without all the sci-fi elements of The Twilight Zone, which I love. The Twilight Zone, it's my favorite show, and it just is a very powerful movie, and it's very real and very dark and very sad. The next film is the Peanuts Holiday Collection, so that's a little break of pace. We have an interesting movie on here. I've watched the movie on YouTube. If it's not really a movie, it's more of a documentary. This is a personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies, and this is just basically like a 4-hour film school lesson where Martin Scorsese just talks about classic American cinema from the start to up until the 50s, about there, and it is great. I recommend it. The whole thing's on YouTube, broken up in parts by some channel, I forget, but it's very good. I recommend this to all, and to all a good night. We have another Rob Reiner film, a little different from Misery in terms of tone. This is Princess Bride. I love this movie. Everybody loves this movie except my friend. He hates it. The first Hitchcock movie I've talked about, we have Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I have it on Blu-ray here, and then at the movie store they had this sick steelbook, and so I had to be an absolute hoarder and get both, but it's pretty sick. You gotta admit, you gotta enable me a little bit here. Thank you. They were having a sale at the movie store, and I needed to get one more movie to get like a buy two get one free kind of thing. So I picked this up randomly. It was A Quiet Place. And I like A Quiet Place, actually. I like the second one as well. I haven't seen the third one. But I haven't watched it in a while, but I did like it a lot, and my sister loves the Quiet Place movie. We have one of the pinnacles of cinema in my life, you know, and in many lives of many people. This is the 4K of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what a phenomenal movie. I love this movie so much. Again, I watched it at that like perfect age, like when I was very influential in terms of movies. And I love so much about it. More recently, I really like the cinematography in terms of blocking, how they block shots. I mean, it's been talked about forever. The other, I believe, the only other Coen's brother movie I own, my favorite comedy of all time, this is Raising Arizona. This is such a funny movie. When I watched it, I was just dying laughing. And this is the only movie, one of the only movies that every time I watch it, I pick up on a new joke. I hear something new. There's something to laugh at and admire every time I've watched it. It's something different every time, and it's incredible that a movie can do that. We have one of Alfred Hitchcock's great works, one of his master pies. This is Rear Window. Of course, Jimmy Stewart. This is the 4K, and I love Rear Window. When I first saw it, I was like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and I still think it's one of Hitchcock's best. I love the chamber piece. I believe that's the word for it. When you have a movie that's kind of in one room, this is the pinnacle of that, you know? This is the king of chamber piece films. Movie I got for Christmas this past year. This is Criterion of Rebecca, another Alfred Hitchcock movie. Thought Rebecca was pretty good. It's not my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie, but still, even at the lower ends, it's still very solid and very good movie. Rebel Without a Cause. When I watched this movie for the first time, I fell asleep, and I never do that. That's a sin. Like I don't fall asleep in movies. That's bad. So that was a sign of how bored I was when I first watched this, but I gave it a second chance, and I'm glad I did, because it is an incredible movie with a very ironic title. We have, I think, one of Tom Hanks' more underrated movies. This is Road to Perdition. I love Road to Perdition. I don't really see a lot of people talk about it. I see people bring up Conrad Hall's cinematography, rightfully so, but I just think it's a great story, and I love Jude Law's performance. Another Tom Hanks film, we have Saving Private Ryan. You know, I remember when I watched this, I felt sick, and I was like, man, this is a sad movie. What do you want me to say? Isaac Neely coming in with the birthday classics. He got me School of Rock. School of Rock's hilarious. What do you want me to say? Oh no, the stack of movies just fell over. Next we have an interesting Criterion. This is the Scorsese shorts. This is a lot of the first Martin Scorsese stuff that I watched. Italian American is the documentary that he made about his parents, where they're just talking and having dinner. Is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Scorsese films of all time. It's a beautiful, beautiful documentary. The short films are good too. It's Not Just You, Murray is my favorite of the bunch. A classic that I am scared to even say that I have not seen. This is Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. And I do apologize for not watching this. I know it is the movie, and I will come around to watch it one day. It's 207 minutes. Next up, we have Tarkovsky's Stalker. A very good movie. I talked about this in the last video. Broke it up over 2 days because it was a long and very deep movie. We have the 4K of Stand By Me. Another Rob Reiner movie. I didn't realize I had so many of his. I love Stand By Me. It's a very solid movie. You know, it's quick and easy. Like, it's good, solid, done. We have
Daniel Day-Lewis. That Will Be Blood.
That's really bad. I can do a better impression of that. It is a Blockbuster DVD. You see that there? I thought that was sick when I opened it up for the first time. That's super cool. I only went to Blockbuster a few times as a kid. I have some good memories of it, but I didn't go that often. Obviously an incredible work. Next up, we have one of my new favorite movies. I talked about this in the last video. This is Carol Reed's The Third Man. I have the Criterion on DVD, not the Blu-ray. I bought this movie on Blu-ray, and then because the Criterion was out of print or something, it's out of stock, and then I saw that they had on Amazon a used copy of the DVD Criterion, which actually the audio quality on this was a lot better than the Blu-ray, and I just loved the artwork. That was really the big turning point for me of why I bought that. So that's another movie I own 2 of. And I gave my Citizen Kane DVD to my grandmother. So I didn't give her the Blu-rays because she doesn't have a Blu-ray player. We have the 4K of To Kill a Mockingbird. I believe this was on sale. I saw it last year. I don't believe it made my top 10, but it was one of my favorites of last year. I've not seen this yet. Another gift from the Agent Neely on my birthday. This is Tombstone, Orson Welles' Touch of Evil. Very good movie. I do like it a lot, and I've already talked about it before. Oh yeah, I have another Coen Brothers movie. This is True Grit with Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, and the rest of them. I love True Grit. This is a hilarious movie, very well shot movie, and it's such a solid one. I think it's kind of a, well, I want to say it's kind of a sleeper pick for the Coens, but I do believe this is their highest grossing movie, so I guess it's not. But I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. It's hilarious. My dad will put it on, and he'll just skip to the parts we like because we watch it so much. But I love True Grit. It's very good. We have the best Jim Carrey film of all time, The Truman Show. You can debate me all you want, but I'm right. We have M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, and this is my favorite Bruce Willis movie. Maybe my favorite M. Night movie as well. This is so good. This is okay. I keep saying my favorite. This is definitely one of my favorite movies when it comes to cinematography. The cinematography in this is so bold. It doesn't try to be subtle, but it uses symbolism. It wears it. It's just. M. Night obviously has a lot of symbolism in his movies with color and stuff like that, and sometimes he's more subtle than others. This is not subtle, and it's fine. That's fun. That's part of the fun. Is movies don't have to be all subtle all the time. It doesn't have to mimic real life. We can be stylized, please. And I remember watching this when I was probably 17 or 16, and I was like, this might be my favorite movie. We are almost done here. This is the Criterion of The Vanishing, the 1988 film. I talked about this in the last video. It made my list, and this is such a depressing and dark movie. One of the best. Top 4, top 5. I don't care. This is just one of my favorite movies. This is Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo on 4K. I obviously had a DVD before, and then I got the 4K, and I gave the DVD to my grandmother because I'm such a good person. Vertigo is so good. I love everything about Vertigo, pretty much. It inspired me so much when I first saw it because I thought the movie was going in a completely different direction, and I was like, that's the kind of movie I'd want to make, is that direction it went in, and it just inspired me. And I love obsession in movies. When obsession is talked about in film, it's always so interesting, like The Vanishing or this, or even something like The Hustler, because I feel like a lot of directors are so obsessed with movies and cinema and filmmaking, so like the stories they tell reflect their own obsession. Like The Fabelmans is a good example of that, but they're gonna commit their life to this thing. And then when they make a movie about obsession, like that kind of bleeds through, I feel like, maybe I'm just rambling. We have probably, maybe not the best Pixar movie, but definitely my favorite as a kid. This is WALL-E, the Criterion, and I love this cover. It's so wholesome and it's sweet. I like the little trash designs. I love WALL-E so much. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I do think the best Pixar film is probably like Incredibles. This, Incredibles, and Ratatouille are my top 3 for sure. But when I was a kid, this was my movie, man. Like, this was the film, and I loved WALL-E so much. I wrote him a letter. We have one of the best thrillers I've seen. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Talked about in the last video. Crazy movie, sad movie, scary movie. Could it be all? I have not seen this movie yet. This is Wild Strawberries, Bergman's Wild Strawberries. I've started this movie 2 times, and it terrifies me. It's just a slow movie. It's, it's, I believe, Swedish. Yeah, Swedish movie. and I love every foreign film I've seen. I've loved, so I know I'm gonna like this. But the subject matter is a lot more just real and psychological. I saw the dream scene on Instagram, and that's what made me want to watch the movie. So I've watched up until the dream scene, which is pretty early on. So I will watch this one day, mark my words. Wrap it all up, and it's kind of funny because I like this movie, but I don't think it's really like a perfect movie or anything. This is Frank Capra's You Can't Take It With You. I watched another one I got for Christmas, and I think it's a sweet movie. It reminds me a lot of theater, and I do believe that the story is based on the play, which just makes a lot of sense. It has that feel to it. But it's a very goofy movie, very lighthearted, and then it has very emotional moments. And Frank Capra's good at balancing comedy and sincerity, I believe, And You Can't Take It With You is a little too goofy, though, I feel, for the sentimental moments to hit as well. The family in this movie are almost like you disconnect with them because they're almost too outlandish and quirky. But I still really like it. It reminded me of doing high school theater and the good old days of yesteryears, so that's got to be worth something. And that's it, fellas. That's all the movies I currently own. I'll probably keep collecting in the future. A lot of people talk about the importance of physical media. I mean, that's all good and well, but it is just really fun to collect things in general, and movies are a great thing to collect, and I have a lot of boring movies, but a lot of movies I love. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you're still here, I completely understand if you're not. Please don't cry for me. I don't know what I guess I'll just be kind of posting randomly on this channel. I've been trying to post more consistently, but I don't really have any set things of what I'm going to be doing. Busy with other projects, Isaac's film, and helping Ryan with one of his short films, which is going well. I did the BTS video about that. But yeah, so hopefully you guys all have a great rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it may be. Good night. See ya. Bye. Get out of here. Get out of here, you little rascal. You little scoundrel.